we are back for another warm-up show with hockey coach Joe, coach Francis directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. We have to go all the way, and the basement, and the cavemen, somewhere, somehow, behind everybody else. Mr. ENORATP back in the house.
Hey, good evening, coach, and good evening, Hockey Nation. Yes, we are in my man cave. Yes, you're right.
Middle of the week, Mr. ENORATP, already.
Middle of the week. Yeah.
9 games at the
Not a good
program
night.
last night, Mr. ENORATP. Some did an amazing, great job. First of all, Vinny, I believe, and Double J, great 8-1 yesterday. Congratulations, both of them. Going to be in the box, going to promote them in the next couple of minutes over there. And tonight, we have 6 games, I believe, tonight.
6 games tonight, yeah.
6 games tonight. And like you do every day, you're looking for the perfect game, 6-0 tonight, so I can support you on that one for sure, Mr. ENORATP. We're going to talk about this for definitely. And
was not a good night last night. No, not at all.
Yeah.
4 games in overtime, coach. 4 games. That's the problem.
This is really difficult about this one over there. The only thing I would be a little bit upset for me was Tampa Bay against Colorado. I thought I took Colorado, but my mind was on the Tampa Bay. So the rest is not Ottawa. Ottawa hurt a lot. I think Ottawa should not win that game against Islanders. And then Ottawa won the 2 games this week on overtime with 2 rookie goalies, and they got 2 W. So congratulations for Ottawa Senator. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of big news around the league today. So have an amazing, great day, everybody. We're going to see you at 9 o'clock tonight. Just kidding. But we don't have a lot of big news, Mr. ENORATP. Then Montreal traveling to the Carolina. Play tomorrow night again at Hurricane. We're going to talk about a little bit more about Montreal Canadiens. Yesterday, they won 4-0, but it's not going to be the most excited game in the history of Montreal Canadiens yesterday. Also, the fact, like, third player was a bit more better, but was not too much. And do it last night after 40 minutes. And then, of course, we're going to talk about everything else around the league. A new team as a sailor. We're going to talk about that team at the middle of the show, Mr. ENORATP, around 5:20. And then, but first of all, we have to welcome everybody. And the chat, well, not to welcome, first of all, Mr. ENORATP. If you're ready, André Robert Drouin, knock the door.
Salute, André.
Chicago Bear fan, 97. Nick, back in the house. Difficult night for him last night, but what a great sportsmanship he did. Show up live to Danny. Because Danny won the lead, will lose against Montreal. He's hiding in the garage.
No. Let's be fair, Coach. Danny at least lives up to his bets.
Or he did not go show up live. Or he had to show up live the 2 days after that when he had to wear a Montreal Canadiens jersey. That's the difference between both.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I just hope Nick learned his lesson. Don't take Chicago for the rest of the year, please. They're horrible.
I know. Melissa knocked the door, Mr. ENORATP. Whatsoever he took Melissa. Chicago, he finished with 6-3, I believe, yesterday, so it's not too bad. By the way, we didn't mention this, Mr. ENORATP. I don't know. I feel like my chair is moving all the time. I'm always here. I should be here. And I don't know why. I'm alone. I think something happens one night. I don't know. You have something inside this condominium. Maybe someone work on my chair during the night. I don't know what's going on, but it's maybe Danny should investigate about those chairs. But anyhow, Melissa Zebran back in the house, Mr. ENORATP. I'm glad having her aboard.
Melissa.
Captain Kirk. The Captain Kirk knocked the door, Mr. ENORATP. Welcome back, Captain Kirk.
Welcome, Ryan. Welcome.
The winner of the bus, Mr. Vinny 007, Ottawa. Welcome back.
Way to go, Vinny. Congratulations.
Yamo Vartanen, Mr. ENORATP. Yamo Vartanen is in the house.
Salute, Yarmo. Moi moi.
There's some squad and one to sign up. Now fire up, Yamo. Now his brain is really there. He see more clearly about what he predicts tonight, Mr. Natap. That's
Oh
maybe I'm
boy, we
going to
got to
pay
be careful
attention.
then.
Maybe Danny should look about this, do some squad before a 6 o'clock p.m. Show and see what he can see in front of him. But talking about this one, welcome back the moderator from upstate Unibird from South, Mr. Jose Duarte is in the house.
The assistant captain, Jose Duarte.
His teammates, directly from dans la belle province de l'Ontario. Welcome back, Luciano Graziano, modérateur.
Hey, Luciano. How's it going? Luciano and I had a rough day with the predictions yesterday.
Yamo said in after hibernation on man cave. Yeah, he's like a bear, Yamo. He stayed there for about 5-6 months. He never go up.
I got my food here, no problem.
Pretty impressive. We have some people, Yamo, like someone like the caveman, someone like the garage. We have a lot of hibernate. A lot of people hibernate here in the chat, Mr. Yamo, about that one over there. HABS 40 OMG, you don't see this often. I agree with him about that one over there. Full moon out last night from Luciano. I can understand what happening to me last night about that one over there.
You got lucky. Pittsburgh bet yesterday.
Yesterday it was the first time it's on a tap here in Thailand since November. Full day, raining, cloudy, nothing else. It's rare in the winter time. So took advantage of that to make my video earlier, everything like that. And they took time to walk outside last night and go to the different location. But it was pretty, it's rare, right? It's, one is, sunshine in the morning and sunshine the night. And it was pretty cool to see that. Calm down a bit the warm we got all year long. So it was not humid. It's just like cloudy, raining until 2 o'clock. So
you realize we're in the middle of winter here in Canada, right, Coach?
I heard that. I heard that.
Are you expecting some sort of sympathy for one day of rain that you got in Thailand? I'm sorry, I can't give that to you.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It was not my purpose to have that one over there. I was thinking if you rain in Canada, the snow will be gone quicker, Mr. Natap. That was the purpose of my about that one over there. Gary, Roadrunner, Cournoyeur is in the house de la belle province de Québec, de la région de Montréal. Gary, thank you to be with us. I think Gary did a 5-4 yesterday, if I can recall
Welcome, Gary.
I cannot talk French, only if you would like. Salut, bonsoir, patate, leave it tougher. Here we go. That's a great way to see that, Yamo, about that. Don't wake up the bear. Exactly about this, Yamo. Never wake up the bear. That was my first sentence on the Montreal Canadiens was in the playoff against the Vegas Winnipeg and the Toronto Maple Leafs, plus the Tampa Bay Lightnings. No weight, just hockey stick on my neck for Yamo. That's a great to do that. Melissa was busy at school. Luciano, welcome back. It took convince ENORATP to take Florida instead of the St. Louis. About that. I will not give a lot for St. Louis Blues yesterday. But they did it. I don't know if Florida did not pop up last night. I did not watch the game, honestly, but not very good. Ellen Key, Mr. Natap, knocked the door. Welcome back.
Welcome, Ellen.
Right now, he's in the car on the highway, Mr. Natap, somewhere, somehow, on the 407. And they decide to go straight home because the dinner is on the table. Back in the house, Dixon Automotive Group, Mr. ENORATP.
Welcome, Dixon.
And nobody in the jail today. You're absolutely right about this. Nobody knocked the door at this one. We have Timothy McNally, Mr. Natap, new to the channel. Welcome in the house, Timothy.
Yeah. Welcome, Timothy.
Thanks so much, Timothy. Hopefully, if you want to join us, participate, this is the email to send you prediction of the night, HNL stay until the end. You're going to see the concept of this program. It's about talking about the prediction of the game, who can win with some kind of information. We talk about the first 20 minutes about the news around the league and for Montreal Canadiens. We talk a lot about them here. And that's what we got. So people already welcome everyone. Thank you so much to be with us tonight at the warm-up show. We are live every Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. for the warm-up show. And we do a video every day at 11 o'clock, Mr. Tap. It's called the AB Daily News. We'll just take some kind of information. Last night, Mr. Tap, I went to a specific things. Patrick Kane praised Kirby Doc and Tyler Johnson talk about Doc, how kind of player he is and how he can become and everything like that. Really kind. And Martin saying we talk about the reason DANY play well. Kirby Doc is one of the reasons about that. So I explain about Kirby Doc. Do you trade or not Jonathan Drouin? If yes, what do you get in return? Which destination do you see him? And then my third one was just a recap game of the Montreal Canadiens against the Chicago Blackhawks. But Mr. Natap, do you know what's going on at 9 o'clock tonight?
We're having a round table tonight, or?
Yep, we have a show tonight at 9 o'clock. The AB Nation Live Tonight Show, new concept. It's only about the Montreal Canadiens, 90% of the show. But do you know what I'm talking about tonight?
You're going to be talking about trades, I would assume.
Yes, rumors but tonight we make love. We talk about love tonight, Mr. Natap. So I decided to take the Deadline Matchmaker 2023, Mr. Natap. So we're going to have some love left and right and where they're going to go and why the reason and what they get in return. So we're going to go about this. So the purpose of that, Mr. Tap, about my Deadline Matchmaker, not only Montreal Canadiens, by the way, we talk about other team going join the show tonight. But what I want to mention to you, Mr. Tap, is can use learn about the Hockey Nation Live show. So what we did, so that why not to give him some time the tips he can learn from us, and maybe after that we make some trades. So and then I was curious about why can use wait, but he wait for me to tell him what he should do, and then after that he will go from there. So it says all the concept, the recipes of the menu of the the meal, but I just want to share with you about that. Double J is in the house.
Sounds exciting. Welcome, Double J.
Thank you. He's on the boss, by the way. Congratulations about that one over there. Today on the app, the news is raining. Yeah, that's the news of the day, Mr. Dixon. Luciano said, no way Islanders make the playoff. Depends 4 games in the hands, and you shouldn't make the move for all that in December too late now. I think for me, they still have a chance, Mr. Natap. Because the Washington.
It's not that they're losing necessarily the games. They're still lucky enough that they're going to overtime and picking up a point here and there. But you're right. I mean, they do have 4 games played more than Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's not the team they're going to be chasing. I think it's going to be Washington, right? I think Washington only has 1 game in hand. Wilson's back on the IR. It's going to be more difficult. Ovi, we don't know exactly when he's coming back. I would suspect within the, early next week maybe. But that'll be 2 or 3 games that they'll be without him as well. So I would not count out the Islanders just yet.
Yeah, absolutely about this, Mr. Tap. So the first segment of the show is always about what caught your attention. What you think happening yesterday. We have a 9 game on the program, and they are the team won the game. I know you always reflect a little bit what paid a little bit more, what happening last night. So maybe give us a little bit an overview of the of the game yesterday in NHL. Alan Barnes, welcome aboard, by the way.
Welcome, Alan. Easily the one to start off with, since we are talking about Montreal, is a nice nifty 4-0 win by the Canadiens. The good thing that we're seeing in the last little while is that they're actually scoring more goals now. It's good to see that not only are some of the young kids like Justin Barron coming around defensively and even offensively, he's contributing as he did yesterday. But we're starting to see scoring from guys like obviously Drouin, who has a picked up his game as of late. We're looking at even yesterday, Armia scored, Dvorak scored, Belzil, young player, been contributing. Dadanov has been contributing. Hoffman has been contributing. So that's all good sign because it might make it a little bit easier. And from what we're hearing, more teams are now inquiring about guys like Drouin and Hoffman in specific. When maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago they weren't even interested in that conversation at all. So that's all I really wanted to say about the Montreal game. Chicago is pretty much set to finish last or second last, so they're very much in the Bedard sweepstakes, and with a couple players probably gone at trade deadline time, that'll make it a little bit more easier for them. We had some real playoff atmosphere type of games yesterday, Coach. The Carolina and Washington game, even with the fact that Washington was shorthanded in terms of the players and the injuries, they really stuck to their game plan here. I know they were at home, but it took everything for Carolina to pull this off, to win 3-2. But Freddie Anderson really put in a good game yesterday, 36 saves. The other one would be the Tampa Bay and Colorado game. Again, very, very fast paced game. It had to go to a shootout to finally decide it. And you can tell that once a couple things you can really stood out to me yesterday. Number one, when Vasilevsky decides to put his mind to it, he's very, very, very difficult to beat. And you saw that not only in the overtime period, but also in the shootout, where he anticipated exactly what the players were going to be doing, and he just completely shut them out. From Colorado's perspective, you see a totally different team. And this is the importance, and I know you've talked about it a lot, having a player on your back end that can carry that puck and is not only a good defenseman, but can contribute to the offense like a Makar. Without Makar, they're not as potent as a hockey team. And I would even venture to say they're not a serious threat to win the cup if he's not in the mix. So that was a little bit of revenge for Tampa Bay, who lost last year to Colorado in the playoffs. Boston Dallas was another beautiful game. Uh, Also went to overtime. I thought Dallas actually played a very good game, and so did Ottinger, who put aside 37 shots. Boston just has no quit in them. We saw Zaka score late in the third period, and then that forced Pasternak, as he always does in the overtime frame, to put it away for Boston. But a very good hockey game both ways. And you can tell that if Dallas can just pick up that one extra piece to add to their team offensively, I'm thinking of specifically, they're going to be a hard team to kick out of the playoffs. They're difficult right now as it is, but I think if they just add that one extra piece, it'll be amazing. And one thing you can count on, at least in the last 3 years, Coach, is for the Ottawa Senators to start off their year horribly, and then somehow, some way, after the All-Star game, they seem to come up big and start winning and putting games together, despite injuries, despite obstacles that come their way. Yesterday, it was 3-2 over the New York Islanders in a shootout, a game that I thought, really, I know Sorokin played in net and he made 34 saves, but the story there was the rookie goaltender for Ottawa, Mandelis, who saved 48 shots, and it was just a surprise, a shock to me. I thought that maybe New York would walk away with that game, but their Ottawa seems to be putting their game together. So congratulations to them. I think it's a little bit too little, too late, as happens every year around this time. But if maybe they can jump ahead of a couple teams, who knows? At least they make it exciting for the people in Ottawa to go watch the games.
Yeah, great resume about everything like this. You have a couple of games like you mentioned to you. Most important, I think, people like on the bubble team, like Pittsburgh, big W over there. Because Dallas, they got only 1 point. Winnipeg get 2 points. That's a good thing for them. Overall, Tampa Bay surprised a bit. Colorado come back in this game to win that W. That's great to see that. Pittsburgh, not easy game against some was a shocks, but they found a way to win yesterday. The 3-star of the night, Mr. Natap happening is Crosby, 3 assists, 3 points yesterday. He's now over 35 years old, consistently performing in the way maybe one of the best seasons he's going to get over 35 years old. Barbashev, the reason I put him, he have a couple of players of 3.2. He have 1 goal, 2 assists, Barbashev, but his name is all around the map for the trade debate. I think it's going to be very interesting to support players. A team like Toronto, Tampa Bay, could add a player like him just to add more some kind of offensive side of his game and helping them at the bottom 6 where they are not, they are a good team, but I think they would add, a guy like him. And then Allen got a shutout for the Montreal Canadiens. I think the last one was in November 12th, but I could be wrong on that one for sure. So that was the 3-star of the night. Pierre Martin knocked the door. Welcome aboard. Thanks to be with
Pierre.
us. As one of your comments, Gary Cournoyer said to you he said, the Montreal Canadiens are the secondary scoring make it fun right there. I would say yes to you. Yeah, absolutely right. I think I would add the defenseman. I would add that one over there. RG Calabro knocked the door with the news about Ovechkin. So we're going to go right away there, Mr. Natap, so we can continue what he said about this. And then NHL Washington, the dad of the Ovechkin, Alex Ovechkin, passed away at 71 years old, Mikhail Ovechkin. So, life is short. And we wish the best for the family Ovechkin, and hopefully we'll be back in NHL very soon. But again, another loss and the hockey world family. And those sometime behind the door, like I would say, I don't know, like the Wayne Gretzky dad, right, passed away a couple of years ago, but he was really an interesting human being as a dad, but as an ambassador for hockey dad, and I think around the country, because that. So every players, the dad or mom or member of his family play a big role for their career. Every time we have someone go to Hall of Famer, talk about the family, the dad, the mom, the wife, everything like that. And unfortunately for those family in Russia, it's very difficult to know really who they are. We never heard the story about his dad, honestly, for me on my side. And I would be always curious about what those impact from those people in Russia make an impact for those players like Ovechkin. So I just want to share it with you, Mr. Natap, about Ovechkin. And then the Los Angeles Kings announced that Mickey Anderson, 8 years at $4.1 million, 23 years old. Very interesting because I think you talk about this, or maybe Marco, about what would be the next contract of the Jacky. Mm-hmm. And now you just get a guy at 23 years old. He's going to be the same age when Jacky is going to be renewed.
He's had a good year.
Extension at 23 years old. So, it will be interesting about what he's going to get the next couple of years with the Montreal Canadiens when you get a guy like Michael Mickey Anderson. A little bit similar at what they gave to Samuelson, I believe, from the or Ramison from the defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres at the same level. I think 4.2, 4.5 over there. So anyhow, I just want to share you that news where Jeffrey Corey knocked the door from Taiwan. Welcome aboard. Thanks to be with our Canadian Live Show. Great to see you about that one over there. And I thought with a smog zip from his app mug from Steve G.
Never
talk about this one over there. About this. You talk about Montreal Canadiens. We're going to go a little bit, go around this one, Mr. Natap, for the Montreal Canadiens. Not much. Jake Allen shootout yesterday, like he mentioned to you. Barron, On my video, I talk about
Yeah.
Kirby Duck improvement, maybe the best. I think we don't talk enough about Justin Barron slowly because, sometimes you talk more about Caulfield, Sakoski, Suzuki, Doc, and those big names. And then suddenly you have a guy, he suffer, but not suffer, he went to American Hockey League to, polish his hockey size, his hockey defensive zone coverage, everything like that, and then scored 2 goals in the last 3 games for the Montreal Canadiens. And you can see a bit what is all about Justin Barron, where he was drafted first round pick at 25th or 26th by the Colorado Avalanche. And he showed up now maybe a bit more confidence, more secure about his play, and very happy about his development right now with the Montreal Canadiens. Jonathan Drouin, 3 points yesterday. 11 points in the last 10 games for Drouin. All assists, yes.
All
Really
assists.
pick it up at the right time a couple of weeks before. I'm not sure if Colorado can pick him up, that kind of players like that. I think they will maybe looking a little bit more like a Barbashev, bring some kind of physicality on that. But a team at the bubble middle of the playoff. I wish Calgary it was not Daryl Sutter because I don't think so. It's a good match, Drouin Sutter
No.
together. But
No.
a team right now is battle for that kind of spot. Maybe a Pittsburgh Penguins could add, Washington Capitals could add those kind of players right there, like unit number 2, right? I think it would be a great asset as a unit number 2. Again, I didn't mention many teams right now, but I think Jonathan Drouin could be that one. Yesterday after the game, talk about he see it's coming. He knows already. He's already thinking about what he could be, where he's going to go, everything like that. This is the end with Montreal Canadiens. But again, it's going to be. Remember, like a player could become really a solid player if everything turn around to be, turn around the right way for him.
Well, yeah, that's the most frustrating thing. I know a lot of times we get caught up with the whole Drouin situation, and we're quick to try to kick him out the door. But I mean, this is a guy that could potentially put up 50 assists alone in a year. Like he's definitely capable. He has done it in the past, and he's a 60 plus player for sure, which is not a shabby thing to have on your team, coach. The only thing that's plagued him in Montreal are really two things in his tenure here, and it's been his injuries, number one, and number two, I would say his inconsistency in terms of play. And when, to me, it appeared that sometimes when the game got a little bit more meaningful and a little bit tougher, that's when he would disappear the most. Now, going back to something you said that to me makes a lot of sense is I could definitely see him in Colorado because he has a very good relationship with McKinnon, and McKinnon's the kind of guy that won't allow that kind of inconsistency. And he's got that relationship with him that I think will sort of cultivate a different attitude in Drouin, and it might just bring him to a different level. Now he's not going to go there and create miracles, but they just want some secondary scoring. Imagine putting him with the guys that they already have on the power play in Colorado. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely about this. About him to go maybe Colorado will be one of them. Montreal now in destination to Carolina tomorrow night and Toronto Saturday for complete their week. So that they have 2 more games on the road, 4 games on the road, back to back to back to back now for them. And then Sean Monahan joined the team as an attack on the road. These
Yeah.
are only injury players join the team. Can he play or not?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that, but he's on the road right now with the team. So no wonder, not no
That's
Edmondson,
good.
Gallagher, and the rest are in our top.
Yeah.
So that's happening about this. And then we have rumor, Mr. Natap. What do you think about this? The rumor is the Montreal Canadiens with Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton 500,000 retaining for the Montreal Canadiens and Detroit Blue Jays for Montreal plus a first round pick 2023.
I'd do it. I think that's good for Montreal.
I agree
You
with
have
you about that
Edmondson.
one over there. Why
Yeah.
why him and not Carlson? Because the demand of the Carlson is too big for the Oilers at this moment. Now they can maybe go with the Russian kid from the Columbus, Kavrikov, but I think Edmondson could be a good asset for the Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Natap. And then they have to give away anyway Javi. And the reason behind that we open up the $3 million to pay the salary of Edmondson. That will stabilize the defensive zone. And I think it could be a good asset for them.
And you get that third first round pick that Gordon and Hughes have been looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. That we welcome back King of Gamer. Thanks to be with the Hockey Nation Live Show. I know you have a question, but we are a little bit tough on the time right now. It's better to ask those questions, King, at 9:00 p.m. at the AB Daily News Show. AB Nation, Real Deal is in the house, Mr. Natap. Thank you so much to be with us.
Welcome, Real.
Thanks to be with the Hockey Nation show at the warm-up show tonight. NHL injury, Mr. Natap, quickly with us. Chicago Taze, Dinardi, and Starlock are on ER today. And Raymond for Detroit Red Wing is on ER, Mr. Natap. So I just want to sharing with you about this. We have no time to talk about this, but think about this. The new team now on the Sailor. David Poile have an interview yesterday at Nashville area on the Fox Sport report. Anyhow, they are now joined the St. Louis Blues, and the Philadelphia Flyers is another Sailor team now. It's coming. We know St. Louis already started with Tarasenko, but Philadelphia have some kind of player they can trade, like I would say GVR. One of them could be on that direction for them. And then the Nashville, interesting, they have some kind of, not a bad contract, but old players could join a team with some kind of agreement or negotiation between both teams. So I just want to share it with you about that. Finally, Gary said the young gun are making their mark on the Al, Coley, Barron, Jakai, Sakowski, and everybody else. And Mr. Natap, you're absolutely right. But it's time to celebrate the party bus. And the first two people are going on the bus. We have nobody in the jail, Mr. Natap. I'm talking about, of course, Vinny and Double J they're already in the house. What about Randy Walkman is in the house, Mr. Natap? Randy Walkman from Alberta. Randy. He knocked the door with a big rumor, Wigard to the Ottawa Senator.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting indeed. It adds a little bit of sandpaper to Ottawa's defense, which they've been sorely lacking. But that's a big. He ended up signing a contract, didn't he? With
Calgary? He signed a contract, 8 years at over $6 million, if I can recall it.
Yeah, I mean, I know Ottawa can fit it in their cap, but.
But the good news, Mr. Natap, on the right side, they don't have nobody.
That's right, yeah.
Right? They have nobody there. And so we made a thing about this, but it's time to go to the boss, Mr. Natap. I apologize for that one over there.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Congratulations for the two people going the bus. And our tap is welcome everybody in the bus. And, he's still dancing because he was there yesterday. So he still have the time, kind of the tempo right there about this.
We cleaned it up nice and fresh. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely about this. Randy, if you need a bit more about the remarks, so tell us about this. That'd be great. Who is returned? What you're looking for? That'd be awesome. Thanks so much, Randy, to be with the Hockey Nation Show. We knocked the door again. Randy, great fans of the Calgary, but not from Max Strom, and a big fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's what we got, right? Do I forget something else before we go with 6 game?
No, I think we saluted everybody.
Yeah, jail, no jail for everybody. We're really happy,
No jail. That's fantastic.
Mr. Natap, you always did that. You know what? If nobody go to jail, I did my job. This is a check. Because that's the people listen to you, and you bring them what they need to know about what's going on after that.
Or maybe they didn't listen to me.
Oh, they do. They really. You are like the Bible, right? They open the Bible, they go there, and they look about
the
that.
Bible. I don't think I've ever been called that. Many other things, but not a Bible.
Why the Bible of hockey prediction is not that?
Okay.
Game number one, Mr.
Oh,
Natap, if Toronto was boring last night, if Toronto, not Toronto, but Chicago,
Chicago,
it thought it's going to be, difficult last night. Now, I think this is another
a
iceberg in
real
front of
test.
them. It'll be bigger iceberg. I don't think so. They can move that one over there. And Mr. Natap, I can sleep. You can tell me anything, whatever you want to tell, convince me about Chicago, but done deal. Nick, sorry about that one over there. Done. That's it, Mr. Natap. 5-1. I don't need to
Oh my
hear
gosh.
anything about the past and what happening with Mikita versus Dave Keon, Mr. Natap, on Palmetier, with Mike Stapleton or Pierre Pilat. I don't care. I still figure out Toronto win tonight.
Yeah, but do you know Chicago's 10-0 in Toronto in the last 10 games? Just joking. That's not true.
It's not a matter tonight.
Okay, well, you know what, Coach, you're absolutely right. Chicago's traveling to Toronto tonight, so they're on a back-to-back to boot, on the road. They're sitting in last place in the Central Division, as we all know. I think it's pretty safe at this stage to say that it's between them and Columbus for the most part, to get that 1 or 2 spot, at least in that position. Then what we constantly keep forgetting is this is a lottery. They have to also win the lottery. Yes, they have the greatest chance if they finish last, but doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, right? They only get a whatever it is, a 22% chance of greater than anybody else. They've been plagued with a lot of injuries as well. You got to give them that. And it's a team that's depleted of talent at this point. And when you stop to think that, Kane and Tays and possibly even Domi might be leaving, doesn't leave very much in terms of current roster to go with this year. So, I hate to say this to you, Nick, but if you want your predictions to go well, don't take Chicago the rest of the way, and you'll do really well. You were the only one that took Chicago last night, whereas everybody took Montreal. But I admire your loyalty to your team. I agree with you, Coach. I'm going to take the Leafs in this one. I don't think it'll be close. I believe it's Mrazek against Samsonov tonight. I'm going to go with a score of 5-2.
5-2, Mr. Natap, for the Chicago, for the Toronto.
No.
Sorry about that one there. I
You
just
tried
want
to
to know if
sneak
you
that
pay
one in, eh?
attention to what I said here.
Oh, I paid attention.
About that one there. I think we should not go prediction for the jail tonight. I think we should go that way. If Toronto lose and you took Toronto, you go straight to the jail. I don't care if you are
That might be all of us.
5-1, but we go all to the jail about that. The only one I think Nick
Oh
is
boy.
not going to go into the jail, but
It's
it is
it's
what
an
it is
interesting
for that
dilemma
team.
for Nick because I think he also, as well as liking Chicago, he also likes Toronto. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see which direction he goes tonight.
But if Chicago win, Mr. Nata, we're going to give him a free pass. Jail.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
I think we made it with his mind. Next, we have Tampa Bay and Arizona. Looks like it's Elliott against Ingram tonight, which was a bit of a surprise in my eyes. I thought Vamalka was going to be back in net. And originally, I'll be honest with you, Coach, in my mind, I had selected Arizona to win this game by a score of 3-2. When I noticed that Vamalka wasn't going to be in net, I changed my mind. I ended up taking Tampa Bay to win under very difficult circumstances because they're on a back-to-back after a very tough game last night, and also they're in Arizona where Arizona plays a little bit stronger, and sometimes there's that tendency from the perspective of Tampa Bay to treat this a little bit as a trap game, and they don't put in their best effort. And they also have Elliott going in tonight, which is not great for Tampa Bay, but you know what? He's done his job. You can't fault him really. It's just this goals against average that's a little bit low. I think he's at 898, and you should always be looking at least like a 905 at the very least in terms of that. Last 10 times these two teams have played, Tampa Bay has won 6 out of the 10 contests, which was also a bit of a surprise. I would have thought more. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to win this one by a score of 4-3.
What we miss on a tap, done deal. No, I still believe it's going to be easy for Tampa Bay tonight. Score 5-2. The good news about this, when they travel, they don't go out. They don't go out in Arizona. So I like that way. They go straight to the hotel and they are prepared. And Arizona don't have enough.
Arizona's the party city of USA, I hear.
Yeah, it's if you go to
it's a desert,
Scottsdale or Temple, it's not easy in Arizona, Mr. Tap.
I know.
But basically, King took the Arizona 3-1, Mr. Tap.
There you go. You see, but King, I like King. He goes off the table sometimes. He goes,
and then
Yamo said
Engren and Elliott, like you said, are expected to play, Mr. Tap. Just to confirm about this one over there. So that's what we are to go there. Detroit, Mr. Tap, tonight again at Edmonton Oilers. I would not be happy if I was the team playing against Edmonton after they lost 6-2 against Montreal Canadiens.
Absolutely. And they're at home to boot, but goaltending wise, it looks like it's Husso against Skinner. I think Detroit's been playing better of late, and it's a very tough month for them if you look at their schedule. The fact that they keep going to the well with Husso has kind of paid off, but you always run that risk that when you play that much that often that you could easily get injured. You know, Detroit's continuing their 5-game road trip in Edmonton. They've been a surprise of late. Like I said, they've won 4 of the last 6 games, and they'll need everything they have in them to try to continue that streak here tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. They're not very happy that they not only did not win against Montreal, but they didn't secure at least a point in that game. This game features, strength on strength in terms of offense. I think both teams have a very good offense that ranks, in the top 10 in most of the numerical categories over the past month, anyways. The difference is defensively, and that's where I think we're going to see the difference here. So, and also even lately, Coach McDavid has been, I wouldn't say quiet. I'd say quiet by his usual standards. So I expect him to do a little bit more tonight and really pull Edmonton up by the shoestrings. I'm going to take Edmonton to win by a score of, let's go with 4-2.
4-2, Mr. Tap, for you. All right. I'll go with 5 tonight. I'll go with 5.
Yeah. I just saw Husso, so it kind of scared me off a little bit.
I just feel like they're going to step up the McDavid and the rest.
Yeah.
Danny T knocked the door. Welcome aboard, Danny T. Thanks to both of you. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. So we have only half of you guys click on the like. If you don't mind, that'll be helping us. So that'd be great about that one over there. Colorado, talk about back-to-back Tampa Bay Lightning. Down them, they all go back-to-back, and they have to hit the Minnesota Wild, where they are a physical and a bigger team compared to Arizona, Minnesota.
True, and not only that, Minnesota's a little bit upset because they've been spinning out of control lately, and they've got themselves into, a position where they're talking, instead of finishing in the top 3 in their division, they're looking at the possibility of maybe being one of the wild card teams, or maybe not even making the playoffs. Right now, they're hanging on to the second wild card. They're currently tied with Calgary, but they're ahead of them in terms of percentage points. The Avalanche, they're going to face a tough scheduling spot, like I said, as they're traveling to Minnesota after playing in Colorado against the Lightning last night, which was again a very heavy game. The Wild, they have been having a little bit of more of a rest as of late. They also have the travel advantage that they didn't have to leave home, and should be able to outlast a fatigued and I would say shorthanded Avalanche team at this point. Not only are the Avalanche playing their second game of a back-to-back tonight, but they're also still missing some of their key pieces in the lineup. Uh, for me, the big piece is Makar. I think him being sidelined takes a lot out of their game. That speed, that creativity, the fact that he can eat up, 25 to 28 minutes a game. In case it goes to overtime, this guy's a game breaker. So they're going to miss that for sure. The Avalanche remain very competitive this year, but like I said, the injuries have caught up to them a little bit, and that's what's prevented them, I think, from really climbing up to the top. So I'm going to take Minnesota to win this game. It looks like it's Johansson against Fleury.
No,
And
Georgiev is back.
oh, he's back in net. So they're
Yep.
seeing the necessity of having to win this game, Colorado.
Yep.
But I think it means more to Minnesota at this stage. So I'll take Minnesota by a 4-3 score.
4-3.
Yeah.
All right. You have the right score, Mr. On top. It's just the wrong color.
Wrong team. Yeah. I knew you were going that way. That's why I went
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Now, when you were talking, I was looking about the goaltender. And when I see Georgiev, I said, okay, I will go with them about this. But it's always
Yeah,
been a
that's
rivalry between both teams, by the way. And anyhow,
yeah, you bring up a good point. And actually Colorado is 6-3-1
yeah.
last 10 games against Minnesota. So but I'll still stick with Minnesota here. I think
Buffalo
their
versus
team's more
Anaheim
well.
Ducks, Mr. On top.
Yeah, well, the Sabres they continue their West Coast road trip tonight in Anaheim, taking on the Ducks in what could be a high scoring affair. It's been really no secret that the Sabres have become one of the most compelling teams in terms of scoring this season. And I don't expect that really to stop tonight. They've averaged 3.63 goals per game, which is the third highest in the NHL, just behind both Boston and the Edmonton Oilers. And that's really very good company to be keeping. But on the flip side, their defense has been terrible. They allow 3.48 goals per game. So that's something that they will hopefully address at the trade deadline time. The Ducks, on the other hand, have been probably the worst team in terms of defense in the league. They allow 4.07 goals per game. Let that one sink in for a bit. The goaltending matchup between Luukkonen and Gibson should be intriguing. I know Gibson put in a great game last time. Can he do it back to back like this? I'm not so sure. I'm going to take Buffalo to win this one by a score of 4-2.
Yeah, we have the same team on that one there for sure. Mr. On top, 5-3. Just the
Five.
quality of the goaltender is not always there with them, so I go with that one. We want to welcome Mr. Roland. He's in the house, Mr. On top. Roland is in the house. He talked about the New York Rangers, said Silava, I don't know, the Rangers for his debut. No better play some defensemen. And we talk about the Rangers, Mr. On top. We just saw this game tonight, the Vancouver versus host the New York Rangers. Not a good time to Rick Tocchet to welcome the Gérard Galland.
No, not at all. And to boot, you have a big mismatch, I think, in net, starting with Shesterkin against Silovs, I believe is his name, if I pronounce it correctly. So, in the last game uh, of the evening that we have, Vancouver hosts the red hot New York Rangers at Rogers Arena. These two teams met just a week ago at Madison Square Gardens in New York, and the Rangers at that point squeaked out a 4-3 victory in regulation time. The Rangers really didn't put forth a good game then, but I think we're looking at a totally different New York team now. The dominance that they've had in the recent games, even after their trade has really come to the forefront. You can see a team that's starting to get into playoff gear, and they have just about all the right pieces to get to that stage and go far in the playoffs. I like the fact that the Rangers have really been pushing the envelope and are going to try to move up in the standings as well, as difficult as it might be. I would say expect the Rangers 4-game winning streak to go to 5 tonight, even though they're only 5-4-1 against the Canucks in the last 10 games. I'm going to take the Rangers to win this one, and I don't think it's going to be close at all. I'm going to take a score of 6-2.
6-2, Mr. Top. I just want to, not because I want to correct you, but they already have 5 straight, so they're looking for 6.
Oh, 6, yes, my mistake. Yeah,
yeah, he's right there in between you and me. W5.
yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I missed
so
that.
it's not because I remember. I just read what I wrote. I typed. I wrote about that.
Yeah.
7-1 in the last 10 game, Mr. Top.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
No, 5-4-1. I have.
The Rangers are
7-2-1.
7-1 the last 10 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
My source is incorrect.
Yeah.
What score did you take? Sorry,
DANY.
what score did you take? What score did you take?
5-2.
5-2. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's what happened about this. We're
That's
almost
it.
at the end of the show, Mr. Tap, already. We did very quick tonight, surprisingly. People think
Gives us time to chat.
we don't have a lot of conversation tonight about that. You know what I mean? Not many news, everything. We could talk a lot more about that. I have a question earlier about Rainbatcher and Kaliev from King. Ask you this. What do you think about that?
I don't recall the question, what it was.
About the prospect Rainbatcher. What do you think about this player prospect? And then Kuliev, another Russia defenseman prospect.
I don't. This year's stock of draft players, prospects, I don't see the defenders really going very, very high in the draft. Simply because I think that they're blessed with a lot of good, solid forwards, especially centermen. Like, this is a strong year for centermen in the draft. So I don't see any of them anywhere above the 20 mark. As a matter of fact, I would even put him into the second round, perhaps. I'm not sure so much about the first guy he mentioned. I don't know much about him. Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, Rainbatcher is a big defenseman. Played for Switzerland at the World Junior Championship. 6'2", 190 pounds, I believe he is already. For me, it reminds me a lot of André K-Miller. If you want to compare him, it's really K-Miller. He has some kind of upside on the defense, on offensive, can carry the puck, but he's not like a big offensive guy like like Ken McCall or something like that. You don't expect him. Whatever, he's going to be maybe drafted at the middle. Maybe he's a top 15 for many people. Because his size, physicality is really strong, and he play very well on defensive zone coverage. So you have a good stick, really well positioning. He played already with men, and he played already second best TOI for his team, Mr. Tap. So all the great about him, that's all he does as a player, defenseman, a right shooter. That's another one over there. I don't know if Montreal can look when he's going to get the selection for the Panthers. If they're going to looking for a defenseman, one they're going to select. If he's going both of them on the leaderboard, Sindin, Pelika, Rainbatcher, Kaliev, Simachev is on a big one. Simachev is a big defenseman from Russia. He's a 6'4" already, almost 6'5". That's on one. But again, those players, Russia, what do? You last year you have to wait until 20 before someone pick it up. I was Washington Capitals, so it would be really interesting what happening about this. Then what we got here, in the chat. John Nicholson knocked the door, I believe. John, welcome. The food was good in the jail, Mr. Nartap. And now is Luciano, human stranger in the night. Make me restless a bit. Just kidding about this one there. He was a little bit worried about Luciano, Mr. Nartap, but it's okay about that. No worry. We'll be fine. We'll be all right. Tonight, Mr. Nartap, 9 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock. You're welcome to join me live. We're going to talk about the deadline matchmaker 2023 on that one over there. And we talk about, you can see different logos. You can see Monahan, Drouin, Anderson, Edmondson, and where they're going to go and why the reason they would be that direction over there. And we do the same thing with Timo Meyer, Chikron, and other name, and then they should have another graphic about them. So that's what we do go to talk about this. We do now at 9 o'clock p.m. It's called the HABS Nation Live Tonight Show. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. So that's pretty much what we have on the program. I know Michael did a show this morning. We want to thank Michael about this one. So pretty what I have to tell you, Mr. Nartap, anything you want to add before we leave the building, or the fact we want to thank everybody in the chat to be with us on this great Wednesday night. And don't forget, guys, to click on the like before you leave the building. And we have, Mr. Nartap, 6 game on the program tonight. So maybe you can tell us what do you pay attention tonight on this beautiful, great Wednesday night.
Well, definitely, you got to look at the Colorado-Minnesota game as being one of the big games. That's probably the biggest one I'm looking forward to, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely about this. So we're interested in what we're going to get. We want to welcome Mr. Randy Walkman is in the house. Thanks so much to be with the Hockey Nation Show. And then definitely we're going to see you tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. Until then, Mr. Nartap, we want to remind everybody, because they are all of them.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
Always a greatness inside of you, the Bible of hockey, Mr. Nartap. Thanks so much to be with the Hockey Nation Show tonight. Until then, my friend, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of what?
You're 2023.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Nartap. You nailed it again, like you do every single time. An amazing, great night, everybody. I can't wait to see you, each one of you, on 9 o'clock p.m. Everybody, thanks in the chat. Of course, Willie Snyder knocked the door at the last second. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. Mr. Nartap, you did it again.
Willie,
like you do
where have
every
you been?
single night. You pop up at 6 o'clock p.m. for the warm-up show. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. Nartap.
Good night, Coach. Good night, Hockey Nation. We'll see you tonight.